Alright guys, you'll have to forgive me here. I don't have a very good quality video camera, so we're going to use my little computer here. So this is the Farsight MVDS tablet. So a little bit about the hardware. It is a WinMate brand tablet PC. It's ruggedized. It's about 13.3 inches. It's advertised outside dimension, and it is heavy. It weighs just over 5 1/4, but 5.29 pounds is what it weighs. So it is extremely heavy. It's got a magnesium alloy chassis, so it's pretty robust. It does meet like the M810 military spec for impact vibration, and it meets IP65 dust and water resistance spec for both military specs used for that. So let's take a look at its boot up time here. It's got a power button here, some indication lights, a couple shortcut function keys, and additional function keys and home keys. So press now and hold. The for a second, blue power light comes on, starts booting up, gives their little Farsight emblem there. So more about the hardware. On this side here, there's an RS-232 serial port, and it's already up. 2 USB 3.0 ports. There is a headphone jack and an HDMI jack. Those are all encased in little rubber quick pop close housings that help with it being dust and vibration resistant. There's a 2D barcode reader. Then there is 2 USB 2.0 ports. There's 3.0 over here and 2.0 over there. And then the RJ45 connector for your Ethernet for hardwiring it. On the bottom, there's a pinned connector for a dock that could come with it as well, I guess. But the hardware offered doesn't come with from Farsight doesn't come with that. Now here's what's going to surprise. Here's what surprised me. You know, it will surprise most people. This tablet from Farsight is surely just a tablet made by somebody else with Windows on it. I believe it's running Windows 10. Let's see, I wrote it down here. It's embedded. I'm not sure exactly which model of Windows it is. Anyways, real quick, it's got an Intel i5 processor. It's 2.2 gigahertz. It's a Broadwell processor, so they're actually pretty quick. And then this one has 227 gigabytes of available RAM, so probably 250 on the hard drive is what it came with. And by the time you add all the junk into it, it's 227. Then 8 gigs of RAM. Now, my research online shows that this WinMate tablet directly from WinMate only comes with 4 gigs of RAM, so we can assume that it has been upgraded in some way to meet Farsight's requirement. So back to what I was saying, Farsight has purchased these tablets and loaded them with other vendors' software. So nothing of this is really proprietary diagnostic-wise to Farsight. They're simply offering a standardized platform of hardware and X software, and then offering tech support for the hardware and software and the actual diagnostic. So their technicians have become familiar with the 2 types of diagnostic software that's installed on all the tablets, and I guess by offering a tablet and all this, they've standardized any anomalies that could happen with hardware. So what's important to know about that again is none of this is actually Farsight software except for maybe this app screen here, which offers a history viewer, their tech support, and the actual application for diagnostics. So you bring that up, and you've got their quick link list of the G-Scan tab, which is its software. G-Scan's a company of their own. They offer, basically this comes as this little dongle that goes to the DLC port, and then the software. And then I'll go through these real quick. Also ATS, Automotive Test Solutions software, the eScan. It comes with the eScan Elite, which is that right there. And that dongle in the software. They have an option to purchase the ATS 4-channel scope, the inspection camera from ATS. They have an app built in for a parts supplier, and then they offer the Toolbox app for DrewTechs, like their Cardac Plus and M2. Those are options that are offered additional. And then just the other day during the update, this Farsight Remote Programmer powered by BlueLink app has come up. I have not inquired as to what it does. My assumption is it's very similar to DrewTech's Wrap, where you can, again, I'm making an assumption here. I have no idea what they're actually offering. Don't hold this to them. My assumption is it's similar to the Wrap, the remote access programmer, where you can actually plug in your pass-through device to the PC, and possibly, my assumption again, is that possibly since you paid for tech support, they would use the TeamViewer app in here to remote program the car for you while you do other tasks. Again, I have no idea. I could be way off base. So we'll go right into the diagnostic part. G-Scan, again, that's a separate company, really heavy in the European and Asian line of diagnostics. They offer their own hardware, software combination. This G-Scan tab is what comes with this. I believe it's a new product from G-Scan. They're going to start offering pretty soon, to where it's a PC-based software and the dongle. So between the two of them, you would get a similar to their G-Scan hardware, their actual scanner tablet, available in different hardware platforms. So you open it up and you have an option of a flight recorder, generic OBD1 functions, their diagnostic software, then configuring the tool, and then the user guide. So you have some battery life meters, Wi-Fi meters, and connection to the VCI, along with the actual exit button up there. So you'll notice the app opens up pretty quickly, even though it's PC based. Usually, traditionally, Android and Apple applications within their software opens much quicker than Windows based stuff, but this seems to be fairly quick without all the junk that would normally be on a PC. So real quick, I'm going to plug in this dongle into a vehicle. We're going to use a 2010 Infiniti QX56, just my personal car. Alright, so we've got that plugged in. Also, it comes with a small adapter harness also, if you have those applications where that VCI box won't fit into. Gives you a little bit of extension to get it away from there. So we'll open the app up. We'll go straight to, and this main screen changes based on what you, I don't know if it's what you most recently attached to or what you have attached to the most. So recently at the shop today, I was working on a couple Ford Mazdas and an Acura. So you go to Infiniti, we're going to go International. 16 pin, and when it says international, sometimes it gives you the option for like Japanese domestic market vehicles or whatever. Then we can go into, just to get some quick functions of what's in here, we'll go to the BCM and you just click OK. You'll notice it's fairly quick at acquiring the signal, reading the VIN, and then connecting to the module seems to be fairly quick as well. And then you go through, and much like a normal scan tool, if you're familiar with how Nissan does their setup in most of the aftermarket scan tools, you'll notice how it was set up. You can pull pretty quick the pin code for the BCM if you're going to do some functions. Well, there's no DTCs in here. The back button's up here. You can also hit this camera button and you can write if you need to, and you can save that. But it seems to be a fairly neat little setup built within the G-Scan. It does have quite a few. Within these two functions, there's the option for keys and such for the resetting value. You'll notice if we go back to, let's say, like the NAS module, click OK. That most of the options there, as I've looked through many vehicles, I've pretty much attached this to everything that comes in the shop that I can get a hold of. I've gotten a pretty good idea of what it will do. It seems to be 100% on par with every other aftermarket scan tool we have. I'm not going to say better than all of them or better than most. Seems to be right on par when it comes to availability of functions. Now, if you'd like to know what kind of vehicles I've attached this to, you'd probably be pretty surprised. Let me see if I can get history. That seems to be just as of recent. Let me see if I can get an option for all the previous history of vehicles we've gone to. I think it may actually be. There we go. So 15 320/28i, 15 Fiat, 10 Cobalt, 15 Versa, that same BMW again, 15 Sonata, 15 Rio. I'll kind of leave it up here for a second. You can kind of look through the list of vehicles. Had a fairly decent array of European and import vehicles that we've connected it to. Just a lot of BMWs. Tried to hook to a few Mercedes, some Volkswagens. We've even thrown in some domestic stuff, some Fords, even some diesels we've hooked it to, just to see if it would have some of those various regen options and other relearns for some diesels. It seems to not be lacking any function overall, but that doesn't even seem to be a complete list, because there's a lot more vehicles that looks like they haven't imported over to this side of the tool. If you're not familiar with any of G-Scan's stuff, they usually tend to be pretty high up on the list of quality and options that are available to them in scan tools. It's not very limited. Usually they have if it's available to anybody, they've got it available. But you'll notice that it seems to roll right through them pretty quickly. I'll pull up a data stream for you real quick, and then maybe we'll click something over and graph it, and we'll take a look at that. I am pretty impressed with this so far. Now here's my cons of it. It's super heavy. It's over 5 1/4 pounds, like I said. It's kind of wide. You're not able to hold it with both hands and punch around with your thumbs. It does come with an attached stylus that I like. It's tethered over here on the side. You'll notice it has, like I said, pretty quick rolling through the menus. It seems to have all the available options. You can go in here and you can record. You have the function to reset the minimum and maximum values you view. You can kind of view in detail, go through here and select a couple, and you can graph them. It'll graph what you've got pulled up in the last one, but you'd have to actually select them to graph. So if you want to just graph two items that are selected, you're able to reset the minimum and max, reset the scale. You can record the session. Also, if you have any issues, you can record a log file when you're going through these things. So what I have found, like I said, when what I have recently discovered is that, for instance, I had a 96 Toyota Tacoma. It wouldn't connect to the PCM at all. It would view generic data if I go into the generic OBD function, which is right here. It was able to view data that way. I hooked up 2 other scanners to it, both of which pulled data from the OE side. It just happened not to connect, so I contacted them. They pulled a log file for it, kind of recorded what happened, sent it to engineers, and they said, hopefully in the next patch that will be repaired. Then it happened again today on a 2002 Mazda B2300. I could connect to it as a Ranger, but the data stream was different because the Ranger only offered a 2.5 engine. That's interesting. Also, a couple other various mid-2000s, late 90s vehicles that were all OBD2 compliant vehicles, but it wouldn't attach. Or it wouldn't connect to the modules. So I've definitely found some bugs in it. I think because it's in its infancy. No vehicle information, but I may have selected the wrong module when doing that. The screen seems to be pretty adaptive as soon as you touch it. Yeah, I've got some wrong ECU information selected or something on the generic side. But we'll back out of the G-Scan. So the G-Scan software itself, like I said, seems to have some bugs in it, I believe, because it's just early in its infancy of this PC-based version of the G-Scan software. But G-Scan as a company as a whole has done a very good job in the past with their diagnostic software. Now, the eScan, which is Automotive Test Solutions, or Bernie Thompson, they offer a PC-based software that's been designed for PC for quite a while. Let me switch out these VCIs real quick. Now, let me do this. Let me just restart it. I'm not going to go too much into the eScan here. I may do a separate video with my experience of the ATS eScan software. Because this is nothing super new to, nothing specific to the Farsight. But the eScan software is pretty neat. Again, it's by Automotive Test Solutions. It's a software specifically designed to diagnose drivability concerns, and it uses the generic side of OBD stuff. So you notice I didn't have to select a vehicle and it's already connected, and starts to give some information here. Turn the headlights off and bring this battery voltage up. There we go. So the ATS software, the eScan, is able to read DTCs, view your actual onboard monitors. It will view all the generic data PIDs. There's some graphing functions, both in bar and actual graph. It offers the option to read mode 6 data and has a pretty good translator for translating into some plain English. This specifically is an O2 sensor diagnostic tool, and then the sharpshooter tab, which is their claim to fame, where it does a pretty fantastic fuel trim map where it actually plugs in the fuel trim numbers into the map as you drive. This is just a load map, or it's just an XY axis over a throttle position to RPM, which it's just load, and bank 1 and bank 2, and it maps out the fuel trims for you. Then does a volumetric efficiency test, which is extremely helpful when especially when you run into a possibility of having mechanical conditions or breathing issues with an engine. And then there's a fuel trim to VE comparison chart. Real quick, I'll scroll through them. Just estimated engine power, a fuel efficiency. The cat efficiency test is fantastic. All you do is make sure you get these. It says lights below must be green for the results to be accurate. These are, what is the word I'm looking for? Anyways, you have to get the fuel control within spec, fuel trim within spec, coolant temp must be a certain degree, certain qualifiers, and then this test becomes significantly more accurate. And it gives you an oxygen storage capacity based in percentage for either bank of the catalytic converter if you have a plausible faulty cat or weak cat. The temperature test, that's going to just give your basic stuff. It's got a relative compression test. It's based off of voltage, so basically you would disable the fuel system on the vehicle. It would have you crank for a predetermined period of time, and based on voltage drop, it would sync an option for RPM, and then graph out an estimated relative compression based on voltage drop during cranking. So it's a pretty accurate test. PicoScope has a software that's very similar that works very well. I use this extensively. I don't use the ATS nearly as much. Then the new AES Elite module, like if you have an older ATS eScan sharpshooter, it doesn't have this feature, but the newer ones, the Elite, offer this accelerometer built into the actual VCI unit itself for braking and acceleration pulls. So that can kind of help with diagnosing possibly some of that suspension or an equalization of torque and braking in a car. So I haven't used this at all, obviously, but it seems to be a fairly well thought out piece of software for this particular one. But that's a quick overview of it. There's a lot more to this tool than that, but it's the most, I guess the three most common features I use of this is the fuel trim tab to do the fuel trim table, because it fills in the map and leaves it on there for you so you can kind of go back and look. Your volumetric efficiency calculator, which is built right into it. You just click start test, drive the vehicle. It tells you what parameters to hit, and then the cat efficiency. Those are the three most used for me that I use this for diagnosis of drivability concerns. So it's a pretty decent software. I like it. I have not used AESWave Uscope or their inspection camera. Those two things don't come standard with this. So my initial impression of the hardware itself is good. I like the hardware. It seems to be very rugged. Seems to hold up to what they advertise it to be. So the price, which I get asked a lot about this, I'm test driving this unit. I have not purchased this unit, but the ballpark figure is about $10,000. I think it's like somewhere in the $9,500 range before tax, and that is 3 years of tech support with Farsight Live for their diagnostic and hardware tech support. And their sales pitch they're giving now is you buy the 3 years of tech support and all that for $9,500, and you get the tablet itself for free. The tablet in its base form comes with the G-Scan software and dongle, and the eScan software and dongle. The scope, inspection camera, a J2534 pass-through are all optional features that are on their list. You can inquire with Farsight for exact pricing. That's just the ballpark numbers that I've gotten in my short inquiry into its price. But I had the unit for about 2 weeks now. I've tried probably 30 or 40 cars on it. It seems to roll through the menus pretty quickly, but I am kind of disappointed in G-Scan's support of this PC. It seems to be, again, early in its infancy and probably has a couple bugs to work out, but more than likely by the time this thing becomes mainstream and a big option out there, it'll be fixed for you. So hopefully we'll have more reviews like this coming up soon. The next review I have available will be for the Matco branded launch product, the Maximus 2.0, which is their flagship X431 software onto a ruggedized Android tablet. Very similar sizing to this, just a little lighter. It's been kind of nice. So we're going to go through the Maximus 2.0. We're going to do a test drive of my Autel MaxiSys MS908. We're also going to do the Autolens Hantek iScan WT2. We're going to do, what else do we have? A Veris Edge we're going to give a shot, and then we may do a maybe an OE scan tool shootout. We have a Tech 2, GM GDS, Ford IDS, the Chrysler YTech, Toyota TechStream, Honda HDS, VW Otis, BMW Ista. We've got just a plethora of just about everything but a Mercedes entry laying around. That we're going to probably do some likes and dislikes with us. I believe after I finish up with all these scan tool videos, we're going to have a little round table with the rest of us guys that use these on a daily basis. That between the three of us, we own all those tools that I just listed. We're going to have a little round table discussion about what we like about each one, what we dislike, how we'd like to compare the aftermarket ones to the OE ones, which truly there is no comparison. So that's kind of where we're at. And then we're going to probably compare them to some of the other tools that aren't so much a scan tool, but maybe how often we use them compared to, I've got a Pico 4425, the PicoScope 4-channel, and it's got some fantastic diagnostic functions similar to like a mini scaled down version of the eScan. It's got a relative compression test built into it. It's got a noise vibration harmonitor. If you've got the kit with the 3-axis meter on it to do those NVH functions, that is a really fantastic product. It also does a pretty dang good battery starting charging system test. I was quite surprised by that. All built into a separate software suite from its actual oscilloscope software. So we'll probably do a review of that along with other stuff. So just let us know what you heard in this video, what you'd like us to do. I own the majority of most of those tools, so I have availability of those 24/7. A few of the other ones, like the Snap-on Veris and the Maximus, are owned by 2 of the other guys in the shop. So I'll have availability of those whenever I need them. But anything else you'd like to see, comment, put in the comment section. Subscribe if you like. More videos like this to come. I know if you're a long-time watcher of mine, you're thinking, what the heck is this? Why isn't this a 300ZX? And why won't this thing won't even connect to one of those? It's OBD1. So we're going to go from there. So subscribe down below or comment down below and subscribe if you would. We got more of this stuff to come, and we'll see you next time.